memory can change the shape of a room, it can change the color of a car. And memories can be distorted. They're just an interpretation, they're not a record. And they're irrelevant if you have the facts.
Someone wants me. Someone roaming the streets wants me.
Your car's uglier than I am. That didn't come out right.
It's the Al Travis Show. Lucky to have our next guest on. I think it's a first for us. He is Representative Dave Baker. Dave, thank you for coming on the show, sir.
Al, great to be here. Thank you so much.
Because you're new with us, we got to waste a little time. Not waste, bad word, Al. Get to find out a little bit about you. I don't know 16B from Adam. You guys will change it at the top of the next decade. Where is 16B? Where are you the representative from?
West Central Minnesota, Candioi County. I represent here about the last 11, 12 years. I'm a small business guy. Been working on a lot of business issues for a long time, but that's exactly where I'm at today.
Can I ask what kind of business?
Hospitality business. I have a couple of hotels. We've had restaurants in the past, and have a small Green Lake cruise business on Green Lake in Spicer, Minnesota. So we've been doing that for a long time.
And you speak in the plural, so I'm presuming you're married?
I am. Beautiful wife, 40 years. And
40 years. You think it's going to work?
I think we're negotiating the second half, but I think we're going to be okay here. Yep, we are.
Fair enough. I appreciate being on the program. Sir, I don't know. There was some news yesterday. I don't know if you caught it. If you're just reading the Star Trib, it didn't seem to hit as hard as I thought it did. That U.S. Attorney General comes out, Thompson, and he is not playing around. He comes out yesterday and says the 14 programs so far that they're looking in Medicaid had $18 billion worth of money run through it since 2018, so in 7 years. And he says out loud, he believes at least half of it, all fraud, just out the door, sir. Is that even possible?
Al, I don't know. That's such breathtaking news. There's no reason for me to doubt what he is saying because I don't think he's just throwing spitballs here. I am shocked. I'm literally, my breath was taken away when I heard that through the press conference yesterday.
And you say you can't, you can't doubt him. I would agree with you 100%. This is what this guy does. There's no reason for him to throw spitballs. But our leading newspaper of note in the state was arguing with the president a week ago. We see about $200 million here. They're nitpicking. That's all that's been. I don't think the Minnesotans have any clue or had any clue till yesterday. The volume. Can you even imagine $9 billion?
No, I can't imagine. And again, when people keep talking about us being such a generous state and a welcoming state, sure, we can do all that, but we don't have to give it all away in dollars and money. But the programs, Minnesota has been so good at standing up new programs and giving away things without ever thinking about how does it affect the checkbook. And that just seems to think in the last 4, 5, 6 years here, Al, that money doesn't matter because we'll figure it out. They'll just keep raising taxes. And during the 23-24 session, you never heard these kind of reports and audits coming in front of DFLers because they didn't want to hear any about this in committee hearings. So finally, this is getting out.
Finally, well, they're coming up with new words, sir. This thing yesterday, you just got to find it online and watch it, folks, if you haven't yet. The guy came up with new terminology. You're in the service industry. You just told us what you did for a living. He came up with a new word, tourism, fraud tourism. He has two guys, Anthony Jefferson, Lester Brown, he's saying came from Philadelphia because they were told all you got to do is come here and the money flows out of trees. And they came over here, $3.5 billion. How in the world can folks in Philly know how easy it is and you're telling me my governor didn't?
That's how loose the rules are in licensing under the DHS system. I mean, I work closely with Explore Minnesota. This is not the kind of tourism we're looking for. Trust me. This is something that we've got to understand. Department of World of Agencies, this is a horrible thing. Okay.
And then one last one, because I've been beating on this drum and it just drives me crazy. I cannot for the life of me believe, since, wasn't it child care fraud, like the first one? That was like 2016, 17. And it was just basically the same thing. We said we'd pay for daycare. They set up fake daycare, set names in, and made a bunch of money, right? And whether we ever got the reaction. They're doing the exact same thing here. And I can't for the life of me, sir, understand how we haven't come up with a law since 2016, 17 that says, let's say you're under indictment for anything in this realm. You don't get another check from us in any of the other, because here's another one yesterday that I was shocked. I'm just still shocked, I guess. This young lady, owner of the Star Autumn Center in St. Cloud, billed $6 million to Medicaid. She is also named in the Feeding Our Futures case. She's literally being looked at for stealing money from us 4 years ago, and we've sent her $6 million in the newest scam. Is that not the easiest law to pass? I mean, just that one, until you get clear.
Yeah, you would think.
What am I missing?
You're not. I think it's so embarrassing. It's humiliating. Our brand in Minnesota is tarnished so poorly. Again, I'm so grateful that the fraud committee, led by Chair Robbins, she's trying to get her arms around this thing. And this trust thing that she's talking about is real. We don't know who to turn this information into because we don't know who we trust in that agency any longer. So I support what she's doing and what we're trying to do as Republicans to try to get our arms around this thing.
And what you're talking about, I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that instead of taking any accountability for any of this on the Democratic side and or the management side, walls on down, they went after Representative Robbins because she's the head of that fraud committee and saying, you haven't sent us any. They set up a tip line. You haven't sent us any of that information yet. You're not helping. And she goes, I sent it to the FBI. I sent it here, here, and here. And I sent it including the legislative auditor's office because they're not coming to me because they trust you. Because I got to think DHS has a whistleblower line, right? They have a chain of command. They don't trust it. It made sense, but that's the other side blaming you guys. And I'll tell you what, with the way the media works here, they're running defense for them. They're going to block and tackle that.
Yep, absolutely right. You said it right. She is giving that information to the people that we feel that there's really authentic investigations looking into this. Why would we trust anything coming out of the DHS Office of Inspector General? Right now, it is not working for anybody. It only gets worse by the day. So I applaud our GOP members that are doing this and having these fraud committee hearings. This is top of mind. We have to fix this before we launch any more programs out. We can't do anymore.
Are you an old radio guy? Because you come across. Great lead-in. This is what you and I got together. I want to talk with you about the Minnesota paid family leave, which starts 12 days from today. And I'm not a smart man, can tell you a half a dozen ways I can rip this thing blind. And I want to talk to you about it. I want to find out the rules, the regs, and can we do it on the other side of the break, sir?
Gotcha.
I got him. He's Representative Dave Baker on the Al Travis Show.
Stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol. You need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
I stand with veterans, and today I'm asking you to support Bravo Zulu House, America's first all-military sober home, helping veterans with PTSD right here in Minnesota. This holiday season, help save the life of a veteran from the cycle of hell created by PTSD and addiction. Become a member of Team Shield, a community of monthly donors protecting those veterans who have protected us. Give now at bravozuluhouse.org. We're still on Facebook Live taping, during this. When we're all done, will you stay in the line for 2 seconds when you're done? Thank you, sir.
friends. The Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
Lucky to have him, Representative Dave Baker, on the program with us. Going to talk some Minnesota family leave. Sir, maybe you can give us a 5,000-foot overview on how this actually works. It starts January 1st. However, it's having overwhelming success already. Today's story from the Office of the Governor. Already 5,000 Minnesotans have applied to get the benefit that they had a kid in 2025, and it's a retroactive get to know your kid and cover you because you just had a baby thing. If we got they thought 130,000 total would do this in a year. You have 5K 2 weeks before it opens. How does this work, sir? Give me your overview.
So the overview of this state-run mandated insurance program, Al, is that it's going to cost $1.6 billion of new taxes every year from employers and employees. Payroll deductions, it's going to go into this massive program, all run by 400 plus employees of the state of Minnesota under the Department of Economic Development. So that's a lot of money coming into a new program that now we're in the insurance business. It has a lot of benefits, up to 20 weeks off per year, per event. There's 2 events you can have, whether it's having a child or bonding, or maybe it's a medical issue. There's a lot of concerns about fraud, possibly in this area, because of the medical question marks we have. I think it's obvious when people are having babies, that's one thing kind of going forward. Some of that actually makes some sense. The way they're launching it, though, one size has to be brought on everybody, no matter how big of an employer you are or small. It doesn't matter. And they didn't care about wanting to work on some realistic ways of how to write something like this. But in 2 weeks, we are going to launch the largest mandate ever in Minnesota history with businesses. With all of this fire burning over here, my Lord, what are we doing? This is out of control.
Let me ask you a couple things, because this sets up a lot for me, like healthcare, Obamacare, in that you everyone's got to get involved. Everyone's going to get taxed. I think it's 0.8% now, and can go up to 1.1. Don't hold me to those numbers. The tax is going to go into this fund to pay for this. But as soon as we set it up, some people can get out. As I understand it, state employees, those with big enough companies that say, we're going to hire an independent company to run this program for us. We're not going to go through the state. Well, why would they do that? Because then they don't have to pay in, as I understand it, their half of that money. So somewhere there's enough room in this that a company can hire an insurance company to run it. If you're a big enough company, I'm going to use Target. I don't know if they're in or out. But a Target, let's use a school system, because I know one that is. They're going to have a company run this for them. So they get out of paying that 8%, just 1%, that tax. And somehow they think that's a better play than doing this. So there's money to be had. I want to know if their employees are also then taken off that 1%. Do they have to pay their share? Do you know?
Yes, I do. So I actually, as a small employer myself, I shopped the market. I was given some offers. In the hospitality industry, we are a tough one to bring into a private market, because they look at who's working for you, what sex are they, what age are they. It wasn't a good risk. So my benefit, or my rate of the tax was quite high. But if you do that as a private employer, you can do that just like you would in a health insurance program. The employer can pay all of it, but they can also share that half of the cost with the employee with a private plan, and then there's no tax coming out of their paychecks. But somebody's paying the premium for that private insurance company to cover it. So to try to keep the state out of your business, I wish I could have done that. It didn't work for me in the numbers, but a lot of them have done that. There's a lot of programs that are acceptable to the commissioner.
But that back to why that's like to me, Obamacare, is everybody had to be in, and then we were going to manage it. Well, once you start pulling people out, now guys like you, guys like me, one guy, I'm it. I can't take paid family leave or the show doesn't go on. So I've got to pay in to help pay for other people having babies and doing whatever. And whether we want to do that or not, I get it. But you've shrunk that pool down of those of us that are going to have to pay into this. I don't know how fair that is. And then it's weird stuff. Talk about rails. As I understand it, if my mother gets ill and I want to take time off to help her, great, good for you, Al, do it. My 5 brothers and sisters can also take off for the same incident. There's no limit to the number of humans that can take care of one other human. And then I find, you don't necessarily have to do much. I call my mom every day to make sure she's up and took her pills. Well, good, take off for the week, Al. You're good. We're paying you money. You get my point? There's no bottom floor in what you got to do, and there's no top floor in how many you can get involved. I'm sorry. Are we looking at the autism centers here? It's the same thing. You don't have to have a degree to fix autism. You don't have anything to say you got them off autism, and you didn't, and there's no limited number you can fix. This is prime for ripping us off, sir. I'm sorry.
We don't have a clear definition of what does care mean, Al. Is it 24/7 care? Is it a phone call like you were talking about? It's everything in between. The family definitions are very, very gray. Who can take it, how long you can take it. There's intermittent leave. What they are saying is that this is going to help workforce bring more people into the workforce. It is doubling and tripling some of the folks' time away from their business. There's no way this is going to help the current workforce shortage that we have in providing these kind of things to the employees that are left behind to pick up the slack when many, many more people are going to be out of the workforce for these reasons. That again, we've been dealing with this a long ways from small employer standpoints, but the way they're doing this is such an overreach. And I'm going to beg the governor, pause this program right now. Just stop it. Take a breath. You can't do it right now amongst all that came out in these last 60 days for sure. Pause it. We wrote a bill for it. Governor, you can do this right now and just say, we better check on this before we let this thing out of the train station.
Out of the station. Absolutely. 100%. We're calling for it on this show. Stop it. Stop it now. Put a pause on it and say, this is going to be a pause until you all get back to the office, right? You guys back mid-February, I believe. And you guys are going to set up some guardrails. You're going to find out how we can do this, make some of those rules. And again, paid family leave. Can you tell me the definition of family? We can't do that in this bill. It's the gal next door who treats me like my grandmother and she's sick. Oh, okay, that's good. We don't even have the definitions down. Can we pause this? Is it legal to do it? They did it with autism. Can he do that with this bill?
Sure can. I mean, we can pause it. We can. The family definition is very broad. We tried desperately for the last 3 years, tighten all these guardrails up, but not a single DFL member in the Minnesota House wanted to work with us on trying to find even the easiest guardrails to pull up. But there's so much potential fraud in this program. We need to pause it before we get this right. Before one more dollar in Minnesota is wasted or lost.
And if folks, I'm going to jump in your business like I know your business like the back of my hand. So you have someone take a leave. You have to fill the position. There's a minimum number that are going to get you through what you've got to get done. So you hire that person to come on. Person comes back. If you haven't grown enough to fill another position, you let that person go. Doesn't your business then have to pay the unemployment insurance for the person you just fired?
That's right. Yep.
So unemployment insurance is going to go through the roof.
It's going to just keep recycling the system. So yeah, even if we can find an employee to come in and work for us, whether it's housekeeping, front desk, whatever it might be, but you're exactly right. So if we have to let somebody go, then they are absolutely entitled to the rights of unemployment insurance, and then the cycle will continue.
I don't see. I mean, not that we can't say it's a good program if the intentions are right, but this is not set up. This is as easy as the autism fraud to steal from. This is not going to go over well. I'm out of time. Sir, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being on the program. I extend the invite to come back anytime. Let's get you back on the show. And again, we're calling, you and I both, calling to put a pause in this bad boy. Let's just stop it until we can get a grip on it. Mr. Representative Baker, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Al.